Hello, but welcome back to some more Hermit Skies. In the last episode, we did two main things. And the first one was getting a wireless crafting terminal. I'm plugging into a block there. But yeah, we got a wireless crafting terminal, which means we can both craft, get rid of items, and do a bunch of other stuff. We also have the Infinity Booster card from the End Dragon and a magnet card, which we can set up to filter if we want to. We're not going to worry about that too much for now, though. But yeah, this is really nice because I can use it in any dimension. And the other thing we did was we completely redid this thing, pushed it down further to the other chunks, and added an AE system here, which has now been running quite nicely in the background. And yeah, I've just been taking some of these items every so often and throwing them into the energy condenser, but for the most part they're doing quite good here. I mean, I've got some good ones with stack EMCs are quite high. Stuff travelings are actually pretty good, considering how many of them I had. Diamond horse armor, diamonds, iron stuff, transferring those is quite nice and easy, and better than the smeltery at the very least. But what I want to be doing today is something that I had mentioned I was going to do a very, very long time ago, and have been planning ever since, and this energy condenser has made our lives a whole lot easier when it comes to actually doing it. So I expanded this island out a little bit to have 20 different portions here. And what I want to do is I want to add farms to every single one of these. Now, it's going to be 4 farms in every single one of these, and then half of them are going to have another farm on top of them as a 5th. So there's 20 here, so 10 of them are going to have that. So we're probably going to have to work out how we're doing that properly. We'll maybe do like 2, 4, 6, 8, and then 2 more in the corner or something. I don't know. We'll work it out. But yeah, there's going to be 90 of these. There's actually 89, but I am adding the End Lily, which we shouldn't have to do because as far as I'm aware, yeah, the Enderman Essence does that. So it's actually really 89 only. But yeah, we do have the End Lilies somewhere around here at the very least. I don't 100% know. I put it somewhere. There it is, Ender Lily. But yeah, we're going to basically be doing this today because I finally got enough Inferium from this thing to get the 7,040 growth accelerators I need. We obviously already have the 7,040 fertilized dirt that we need, which was a little bit easier because we could just EMC it. And then we obviously also have all the, where are they? The dimensional transceivers, the growth crystal tier 3, and also the farming stations. The only thing I'm going to have to do is get a lot of paper together, which shouldn't be too difficult with this system and the one down here. For example, how much paper do we actually have in this thing? 16,000. Yeah, that should be enough. And then just a bunch of obsidian and gold. We can make some unbreakable mattocks and get this thing doing a lot of work. And basically have everything bar the Draconium and Nether Stars fully doing this. So this is probably going to be quite a long episode because I also do plan to try and get one of every single seed, which of course, as I said, there are 89 of them. There are some we probably can't get, but we'll have to deal with that when we get there. And another thing I want to do as well is create something called a quantum storage unit, because I wanted to create myself on this as well. I had mentioned previously the way it was going to work is the next set of growth accelerators were going to go on this level here. That's actually not true because I went back to my Sky Factory 3 world that I was just playing on casually, and the way I've got it set up for this similar thing is actually there is the cables are here. So there's an energy cable coming here, an item cable coming here, so that the we could have a, well, what it was a drawer, but I'm going to change it to the quantum, whatever it was called, the quantum storage unit, so it holds more. We can hold them in there and then have some storage things for the AE system on there, but we're going to have to work out, storage-wise, we're going to have to make a lot of dense cables, I think, but we'll see about that. I'm actually thinking we might be able to fit just 10 layers in 4, maybe. Instead of having all these ones on the outside, maybe we can use them for other things. If there's only 80, not 89, 88, we can do 12 layers top each. I might actually just do that, because then it's kind of in the forefront. All in one set of cables then, and I can just use 4 sets of dense cables instead of using a massive amount of channels and stuff and wasting them. That actually might be the way we go about it, which meant I probably could have not done this out of block and moved the mob farm, but nonetheless, yeah, I think I'm going to change my plan on the fly, and I'm probably just going to do it that way. But for now, what we're going to have to do is I'm just going to quickly build it up the... well, not the energy, the dimensional transceivers or the farming stations. I'm actually just going to place the fertilizer and the growth accelerators quickly with the help of some cobblestone. We're going to get one each of these, and I'm going to do one, which is just this one now, and I'm going to show you sort of how it's going to look, and then we're going to place some signs, work out which seeds are doing what, and then we're going to be trying to set everything up and get those seeds. So yeah, changing the plan as I said, but I think this one should actually work out a bit better than having them all around and being surrounded, and gives us some space for growth later. Right then, so we've gotten one of the 4 pillars now constructed, and here it is. It's looking quite insane. So if we just quickly jump up to the top of this elevator, it'll be a bit quicker. It doesn't go up to 200Y, which is quite nice. It only goes up to 184Y, which is quite nice because I'm obviously adding 1 extra block now than originally I planned to, so I was a bit worried that it was going to just be a little bit too tall, but hopefully, I was hoping that it wouldn't hit the sky limit, but luckily it hasn't. So yeah, this is now 22 of these, and I've also just realized I'm not 100% sure if these are into my calculation, so I might have some spare left over. Apparently I've some ender pearls. My only concern is, and the reason I'm looking up the word glowstone is because if I press F7, it brings up the light level stuff, and you can see the first 2 layers are fine, but the other layers going up are a little bit dark in some areas. Now, from what I understand and from what I remember, it was a few years ago that I first learnt this, and I haven't really updated my knowledge since then. If it's red, it can spawn at any time. If it's yellow, it can spawn at midnight or nighttime at least. So we're not too bad for the moment, considering it's pretty much, what, midday roughly. But the only concern there is that we're going to have stuff spawning later. So I'm thinking I might try and get some energized glowstone and then just sort of have it setting going up. But my only worry is it's spilling over to the side, so we might have to do something about that. In fact, let's actually try and see if that is even possible. Because I know basically the way it works is it is supposed to go upwards. I need 1,000, so I need a glowstone block. I need the magma crucible and fluid transposer. So fluid transposer and the magma crucible can go there. Throw you in there. Get a bucket, which we have a bunch of, luckily. Let's see if this works the way I think it will. If it does, great. If not, then we just might have to find a better way of doing it. So if I do that... Why did it just turn back into glowstone? Does it like cool at a certain temperature or something? Might be interesting to see if... Oh no, it's already gone, but I was going to say it might be interesting to see if it like does light levels on the way up. So what we might have to do is just plaster glowstone every so often, like that on every level. It's going to make it a little bit less nice to look at, but I mean, there's not really much else we can do. Unless like some... these are facades, I know, but unless like I can get a... I don't think this will work, but I want to try just in case it does. If I get like some of these, if I were to just quickly like this side. Oh, it actually does work. Okay. So what I might do then is like I might be able to, yeah, just do some pretty simple stuff then with... It's a little awkward sometimes, but yeah, just do some glowstone on the side like that. Seems to work. We got 16 from 1 block. It's not that bad. And yeah, hopefully that should do everything we want it to do. My only thing is putting it back together, which I don't think you can, but we'll deal with it and see if that works. But yeah, that's now set up. What I actually want to do is quickly get the farming stations and the dimensional transceivers. Luckily they stack. It's nice. And I'm gonna leave that one there for the moment. But what's actually going to be happening is they're going to be in that block there. So we'll do that. And then I'm going to have to set them all up individually, which is going to be a little bit of a hassle. For the other towers, I might just place them all down individually and then pick them up later and they'll all be configured. But for now, it's just going to have to be a case of doing this and lagging, apparently. Can you not go back on there, please? Okay, I'll just put you in the next one. Cool. But yeah, then we just need farming stations and then a lot of cables. We're going to need a lot of item conduits or item cables. Yeah, so we'll need a bunch of item conduits and a bunch of ender energy conduits, rather, not condensers. And that's all we really need. We just need a power source into these guys, a cable going out to the quantum storage thing, which then means we don't have any storage. Well, we're not using any of our storage because, you know, they're going to take forever to do otherwise. And then later on, we can set up some auto-crafting to auto-craft everything up. So then we just need farming stations. You're actually going to need a one above you, like that. Perfect. But then, yeah, farming stations are just going to go like this. Oh, if it was one block further, I could have just done that. But yeah, farming stations, I need to get a bunch of tools. Again, like 88, 89 of them, actually. So one of them's actually going to be one higher, which is going to annoy me a slight bit, but I'm not too fussed about it. Or we could do the two middle ones if we want to do... like ender lilies, but again, ender lilies, what's the point if I'm getting ender essence? I mean, it's a bit weird, but yeah, just have to sort all that out. I'm going to do some glowstone as well, I think, I might leave that actually till the end, because it's not too huge an issue, really, because we're not going to be up here, and it's still going to harvest even so. So, yeah, that's all them done. No, it's not. I thought it was for a second. But once these are all done, which should be one more, then I just need to set these up, get some cables, and so I've made a bunch of signs. I'm gonna sign which ones are what. So the middle ones, I'm actually going to make that into a Nether Star one and this into an Awakened Draconium one, I think, just so they're center stage, and then we can put the Inferium one up here, I think. And then I'll probably, well, what I'll do is I'll look up the word seed, for example, and then we can go, you know, tier by tier. We can go Inferium, Nether Star, Awakened Draconium, those three are already in use, so that's fine. And then we can go drag over here, stone, dirt, nature, wood, water, ice, fire, dye, Nether Star, Nether Seeds, coal, iron, Nether Quartz, etc., etc. And we'll eventually, for the ones that we don't have, you know, 80 of already, then we can just wait until we've made enough, because I don't really want to have to make a bunch of seeds more than I have to, so we'll just deal with it for what we have now. But yeah, time to get these connected and powered, and actually we also just need to make the quantum thing still, because as soon as we make one of those, we can just go and make a bunch, because it has an EMC value of 105,000, which actually isn't that much. And I'm sure we've already got... No, we don't. I don't know what's disappeared to. We had some in here previously, but we had some 64k storage things. Maybe I just used them up, but at the very least, I can just nick one out of here, can't I? But I'm going to get on to making that thing quickly. It's not huge, a huge thing, so I'll just do it quite quickly for you lot. There we are. That was quick. Very easy. And also, I gave us a quest completion at least in one thing. I'm just going to quickly grab us some... since we need so many, why don't we just get... I'll throw that back in here. Just so the emerald things in there. The problem is we're using them more than we're making them now, because we were stockpiling for so long. But yeah, hopefully it's not going to make 89, I don't think. No, it's only going to make 50. So if we put another stack in, surely it's going to be 100. And I mean, we need them a lot, so maybe it's worth having 100. Well, 101, I think it will be. Roughly. Yep, just No, that's actually exactly 100 now. So what we're actually going to do is we also need to get rid of the storage drawer. So I want to get rid of that one first, because this will hold more in it. So we're going to put that one there. Also looks cooler. But what I'm going to do is just get a an item conduit and some upgrades. We're going to disable that, insert, get rid of that, export out of there with the storage upgrade. And it's just going to increase the cobblestone, hopefully quite quickly. I don't know why it's doing that though. Why have you only got such a small amount? Don't feel like that should be happening. Let me get that away and then add it again. Well, let me do that maybe. Why do you only have 258 when I quite obviously have a lot more than that? I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna let it insert there and we'll work that all out later. But now we have the quantum things. We're gonna go place those as well. They are gonna place. Get out of there. They're gonna get placed pretty much on like this block here. So if I just grab, I guess I was gonna say grab some cobble, but it's all down here. Okay, apparently I'm getting some diamond ore instead. They're gonna go there. Is what I'm gonna have pretty much. So. Let's actually set it up on the Inferium one and see if that's worth like showing off there. So that's going to go in there. I'm not going to worry about sending items currently because it is also taking up a lot of the space that's going in. We're going to have some energy conduits. Yep, some ender energy ones, which I'm going to have to make a few more of. We're not going to make it output. Well, it is going to output out the top actually. But that's going to power this. This is then going to get some item conduits and some upgrades. And because it's Ender IO, we can go and have them all in the same thing. They're going to go insert, extract, power always on, extracting always. The only thing is the seeds, possibly. But I guess what we could do is set up a secondary one next to it. But then the problem is, like, I have to make more cables then. Because I'm going to have 22, which means 40. If I did that twice, it would be 44, which is too much for a dense cable. That's my only concern. So we'll have to work out what we're doing with the seeds then. I could lock the seeds, I guess. Or I could set a filter to only input seeds into here. That might actually work. So if I get a filter, we're going to make quite a few. That's the only concern. But we will do an insert with filter, and I only want Inferium seeds going into there. And then we can also do send crops. That way, at the very least, we can still have stuff going in here, only have the Inferium seeds, and everything else can go in here, and we can still have, hopefully not a full drive full of Inferium seeds. Now, I still need to work out what that is happening, because it wasn't happening last time I did this, but that was with a refined storage instead of the other one. So I'm not sure how to deal with this. Either way, so we now see how this is set up at the very least in this, and then we'll have a cable coming up to the side with a storage bus on to here. So hopefully it works the same. My only concern now is looking at this. The fact that I've obviously got 64 or 34K in here, but it's only showing that much. I'm just worried that it won't show properly. That's my only concern. So I'm going to quickly have a look at what's actually up with that. If it's not something I can fix, maybe I'm just going to have to go for a deep storage unit. instead, which, I mean, isn't too much more, and is actually less expensive. So maybe we'll see what works and what doesn't. Maybe I'll make one of those just for fun anyway, because I'm not sure if it's part of a quest, but I'm definitely sure, yeah, this is part of a quest, so I don't know how we're gonna deal with this. Okay, so at the very least, I looked it up, and it seems that it's an issue with quantum storage as itself, rather than a applied energistics issue. It basically, from what I understand, dropped support for stuff that wasn't common interfaces or something along those lines. I don't know, but basically it's only really reading the cobblestone that's in here, the 64, instead of what's actually internally there. So what I have to do here is just quickly detach this, get any remaining cobblestone out, which is 194. So it was adding on to 194 with an extra 64. That can be thrown back into the deep storage unit, but that's going to continue producing and going up in numbers, whilst not basically having any issues with what am I saying? Basically, it won't. I need to get rid of these chisel things. That's why there was actually more cobblestone in there. Apparently, I just needed to get rid of it. Basically, yeah, we're just going to have to use the deep storage units. It's not a huge problem for us. They should still hold. We're not going to get anywhere near close to how much it actually holds, so we'll, have no real concerns there. But I just need to make sure again I've got rid of all this cobblestone, which was, I did the wrong thing, that's why. So get rid of all those, cable back in there, and we will now have 15,000 going up in numbers, which is quite good. So once this is done, I'm going to put this in and just, have it continually doing that. So I'm going to have to replace that one at the very least with another deep storage unit. I made a few. I didn't make a few, but I made a few of these to make more. I need more plastic though. So once I make one more of these, I'm just going to throw it through the condenser, and then we'll just have a bunch of these. In fact, because they're cheaper than the other ones, I'll probably just, transfer the rest into that. So I can get like the quantum, I can get like 64 of those, and it'll make me a ton hopefully in here. If not, I'll just get something else. 64 and 15, 64, 16, that's 80. So I'll just grab like a stack of diamonds or something and throw them in here. And hopefully that should be enough for us. I mean, what's that? 86. So not amazing numbers, but I can just swap out stuff, which is quite nice. So we actually want to do this. Now, the only thing I don't like is obviously we get a nice little look at everything here, but this one doesn't unfortunately do that. We can always see how much we've already got. I'm going to drop out as much of this as I can just to throw in the DSU, which is going to be a lot of clicking. There we are. And quite nicely, it also has 2 import slots, it looks like. So it's hopefully quicker as well. But yeah, that's going to go back in there. I've just got to set up all these. I've still got to get more cables, but at least we fixed this quote-unquote issue, and we shouldn't have any more problems. And we're also going to get a lot of cobblestone. More than 131k, I think it was, that was in there, which is because of the obviously storage upgrades. Only times it by 13 every time, so we only had a limited amount. So deep storage units hold a lot more, obviously, so we shouldn't have any concerns there. So I'm going to get onto this, and then I've got to obviously write down which seeds are going where, and I'm going to make a bunch of filters also, because obviously we've got to get the seeds going back into here when we can. So it shouldn't be an issue for a while though, until they make 64, obviously, because they'll all go in there. But that's also bringing up another point of we're going to have to get enough capacitors to actually hold them, because I think I mentioned it before. I think this is actually the one that had it. This only holds up to 32 seeds in it, which isn't a huge deal, but I need to get some that at least do the correct range, and also lets me hold 64 seeds in every single one, so we're not sending an absolute ton back through all the time. But nonetheless, enough of me babbling on. I'm going to go finish this floor, and then I've got to do another one, and then another one, and then another one. And then we're going to sign them all up and say what's going where and who's doing what. Okay, so as much as I said it wasn't an issue, and as you can hear from that noise, the lack of lighting is probably going to become an issue. You're not going to get a shot, are you? Yeah, that lack of lighting, it is now nighttime, is causing a few problems, but we are slowly but surely getting there with this. Just messed up my entire system now that I've just started recording. But yeah, I'm just doing it bit by bit, making a cobblestone tower, doing the growth accelerators first, just so I can fill an inventory full of them. And then I'm doing the fertilized dirt, just because it's easier, honestly. And I keep building out one too far, so let's stop doing that. But yeah, it's kind of... I know it's going to take a while, I know that much, but it's kind of relaxing almost when you're not messing up constantly because you're trying to think of what to say next. But that's this tower now done, well, in terms of growth accelerators at the very least, so we can throw all that stuff back in there. We just need to get the fertilized dirt, if I could spell. There we are. So just fill this up with this now, and then we're going to go down to the bottom layer, do exactly the same thing, and then we got to carry over to here. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last clip, but I do now realize, annoyingly for myself, that, you should die, is that this is going to have to all move, because I do not have, well, no, as I said, the middle two are going to be Nether Star, Draconium, and then probably Inferium over here, and then we'll start with, like, stone over on this one, over there. But, yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of all that, because I ain't got the, or this in the wrong place. I've also got to think of which seed, and I guess I'll look up the word just so it's there. I need to think of which seed I'm going to be placing in this slot here, which is the one that we are most likely going to use. Maybe we'll just put Draconium in there. That might be quite interesting. So we have, Inferium, Nether Star, Awakened Draconium, Draconium. That might look nice, and then just go up similarly the way I was doing everything else. So there's some that's going to take a while, like creeper seeds, skeleton seeds, slime seeds. That's going to take a very long time. A few of them we can hopefully be lucky with, like rabbit seeds. I need raw rabbit, which I can only get from certain things. But like the guardian seeds, at least I can do mana infusion with the alchemical catalyst. So I think rabbit seeds are going to be a little bit of a hassle because rabbit hide and raw rabbit are going to be a pain. But if I can get a rabbit and a powered spawner, then I can, in theory, get any one that I want. So hopefully that'll work out how I want it to. How much we made during this time? 10,000? Not that bad. Let's get on to the rest of this and wait until it's daytime so nothing else spawns, which is never actually going to be what happens there. Okay then, so quite with a little bit of breaks in between, I have finally gotten those 4 pillars. As you can probably see from the map actually, or about that far out, they are finally done. If we turn around, you'll see... Oh, it's that thing. We'll see that they are all ready and together. And something quite interesting is, obviously I set up all these and you can see they've got power because I got the no seed thing. I actually ran out of power at one point. You know, my entire AE system was dead. So I had to throw this solar power right in front of the vibrant capacitor to try and get some power back. Because these were all charging up, like 22 of them each layer were just charging up in one go. So I did also add some more Eulorium to here, but also a dimensional transceiver to that thing. All I need to really do is try and find a RF Tools world thing that has a dimlet, that's what it's called, that has always day, and then build a massive solar panel farm in there, pretty much. That is probably what I will do, and then just add a bunch of solar panels to it. And considering the next solar panel is a draconic one, maybe we'll get onto that. But to get 2 of those, we need obviously 4 of these, which we can get EMC for, so it's not that bad, but these don't have EMC values, and requires a draconic energy core, which requires some draconium, awakened draconium, and 4 blocks of awakened draconium blocks. And then this thing is even more, and chaotic shards as well, and chaotic tier stuff. So takes a while. But yeah, this is all done now. I just need to do a few more things, and that is I need my cruxes. I'm going to take those, and what I've got to do now is just take the seeds out of there and those away there. That should be fine. And what we want to do is get the Nether Star and the Awakened Draconium seed. And we want to just, for the moment, we'll place it here for the nether quartz one. Oh, not nether quartz, but you know what I mean. That one. And I just need a hoe. Do I have a hoe in here? Should not I have a mattock right there, actually. Speaking of, I actually made a bunch more of those, so we will get to those in a second. But let me just do these two. Do you have one? No, you don't. Okay. We'll quickly go grab those out of the AE system then, because luckily they're in the AE system. So what we can do is mattock. We should have 88 of them. They're all unbreakable, and put that in there. And I'll put you in there so you have some fun there. Now, obviously, if we show range for the moment, because it hasn't got capacitors, they're one block out, so I'm going to have to get some capacitors sorted out. But for the ones on the lowest level, it won't matter too much, obviously, because there's only one set of them each. So for the moment, it's just going to be like this. And then we said, I think Draconium was going to be the bottom one. So if we go seed and we go Draconium, well, I'm going to have to get rid of this one quickly, but the Inferium is going to be on the left side, I think, over here. So we'll get rid of this one. They do take quite a while. So that's going to be the Inferium, and then we'll have the Nether Star one there. And then this will probably be Draconium, since we have so much of it already. So we'll just do that. It can only fit 16, obviously, because it's got no upgrades in it, but we'll get another mattock for you. And so you have one. You have one already, and you've got one already, so we'll just put you in there. Get you the Inferium seeds. I mean, one stack is actually enough. There we are. So obviously, because again, it hasn't got the capacitors yet, we need to do that. So what I need to do, it really is grab a bunch of capacitors down here and just kind of hope that they do what I want them to do. So we've got quite the selection, but that won't be enough, I don't think, for every single seed. So for the moment, I think what I will do is I'll deal with what I have, and then over time, off episode, I'll just get the capacitors I need. But for now, we need to go and grab, now that the bottom tier is done, we need to go seed by seed. So starting with stone seeds, for example. We have a bunch of those, because I make a bunch for the growth thingies anyway. So we'll get one of those. We'll get a mattock. And we'll put that in there, and that will get started on there, and at least it will get us some stuff. Obviously, we also need to set this up to the AE system, which I might do. No, I will do this episode. I just need to make some dense cable, which is going to take a little bit of time, and I also need to get some storage labels, I think they're called. Yeah, deep storage labels, which are pretty cheap as well. So for example, the next seed after that is a dirt seed, which we only have 16 of, interestingly. So that'll occasionally fix itself. And what we'll do is do that. Get a mattock out of there. And, you know, they'll eventually sort themselves out. And over time as well, I've just realized from possibly the Inferium one, where the Inferium one used to be, we need to add to the filter this. We need to add fertilized essence to the filter, and possibly get a deep storage unit for that as well, because we've got 7,000 already, and stuff like that. So we'll probably set up possibly just a massive area full of drawers, maybe with void things for those sort of things there. But there we are, we got one more of that. Obviously these two as well, they're going to only have the one seed for the moment. They don't produce more seeds, so yeah, we just don't have to deal with that for the second. And even if they did, it wouldn't work. But now we've got to go through all these. It looks very daunting from here. It looks quite cool as well. Yeah, let's get onto it, and we'll see this wonderful stuff when we got all these. I'm not going to bore you with them, but I'm going to get all the ones I can. All the ones I can't yet get, I'm going to sign off. So we'll do sort of that progression, left to right, up to bottom to top. And for the ones we don't have, we'll just sign for the moment and have a missing section for that. But hopefully when I come back, we'll have a bunch of stuff that we can't technically access yet because we need to set up a new A system sort of thing first. Right then, so once again, this is of the seeds I want to say in there. It's not really 99, but basically all but the mob seeds are pretty much in here now. I've got the chicken seeds, obviously, from a little while back. I think they're here. Yes, they are. They're all in there, which is nice and fine. I also found out an easier way of doing the filters. Instead of filtering out the whitelist, I just did a blacklist of the specific essence, which was quite nice. It's better than doing the seed and the other thing, the fertilizer. We still have a bunch of seeds, as you can see. If we just look up the word seed, you know, we got a load of seeds come in. Solarium, energetic alloy, mana steel, yellorium, mystical flower, night slime, terra steel, ardite, platinum, constant. I don't even know what that was, and I don't even know. I made it. It's like nickel and copper. I just don't know what it's ever used for, if anything. I guess hardened glass. I mean, we have it at the very least, but do we need that for... I guess we need that for the Infinity Catalyst, so I guess it's nice that we've got it. But nonetheless, that's all sorted, other than, again, the majority, just the seeds for the mobs, and then, obviously, just those ones need a few more down there. But yeah, got some good stuff going, I think, and what we need to do now is we need to set this place up. We're going to have 4 different channels with dense cables, and what's basically going to happen is we're going to go up this edge here, and then we're going to go out 1 block over here, and then have a storage bus on the bottom. The reason I don't want a storage bus on the side is because then I would have to push the dense cable over one. I can't have... because dense cables do 32 channels and regular flux cables do 8, I have to have the flux cable to connect to the storage bus, so I can't have... entirely flux just regular flux cable going up. Also, for some reason, these 2 up here, I can't work out if I've missed a seed, but these 2 up here don't actually have any seeds. I know one of them's supposed to be like Ender Lily is what I basically made a contingency for, but I don't know what the other one is supposed to be, so I will just deal with that for the moment. But yeah, I need to just make a bunch of stuff. So what we are going to have to do is change a few things with our ME system, primarily the controller, because obviously pretty much every face but the front one is being used right now. So what I need to do is I need to grab some... Do I have Emerald Horse Armor? I do in there. So I'm going to grab some of that. It's going to ruin our ME system for the moment. We're going to put that in there and see if we can get quite a few of these. In fact, let's just fill this up. And basically, that's going to be far more than I need, but I want to make a proper, like, big, nice ME system. How many are we going to? 53? 530 million, basically. I want to go into this area here, fly up, and I want to make the biggest possible ME controller, which is, if you don't know, a 7x7. So what we're going to do is we're going to go a little bit lower than the actual, this thing. So I want to roughly... start 1 block lower. We're going to have this as our center block, which it is. And out of here, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I think that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I actually think I need to do this. So it'll have to be a 5x5 interior to it. Oops. Let's do this. The only annoying thing is during this time, I can't access my ME system. So that is the only concern I have, but we should now have, after this, a absolute ton of channels. So what is it? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then go down over this way. I actually think, I said I had more than I needed, but I actually might not have too many more than I actually need. I only have 2 more than what I actually need. So this... right here is a massive ME controller. For the moment, I actually don't really have a way of controlling it, do I? I guess I have this, don't I? I'm gonna have to reorganize majority of this, but what I'm gonna do is we'll have the cobblestone kind of in the middle again. This can go... I guess this could just go like in a corner. I like it being in the middle. I think that's kind of nice. So we'll put it in the middle there. And we'll have some cable go out to it. Do we have any spare energy conduit just kind of lying anywhere? Or do I'm gonna have to nab it from here, aren't I? The annoyances of moving your AE system, again, you don't have anything from it. This might not even be enough. No. I guess... I'm not sure if this will work. No, that that won't work. I thought it might for a moment. Oh, have I got my magnet turned off? Not turned off, but not quite on. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to grab, looks like a cable or two from somewhere. I guess from the back of here should be fine. I mean, we'll all have to move this probably eventually as well, so for the moment we'll have no machines functioning, but as soon as we do this, we'll have a system up. There we are. And then I need some flux cable, which I don't have any of. Luckily though, we can just go here and grab a few from this whole thing. That should create quite a few. There's over a stack. Let's just, for the moment, let's connect you up. And we'll just, from out here, see if we can just connect the channels up a little bit. Now, the drives are my only concern, because all the drives were connected separately from everything else. So, I'm gonna have to do that, and then that, I think. Put that into a different channel. Hopefully this works. I think it will. And we won't have full functionality back, but at least we have our items now. Rightio. That's at least a start for getting everything moved, isn't it? Now we need to make some dense cables, which I can't spell, but luckily at least the Fluix ones have an EMC value at the very least, so that's good. We just need a bit of wool, I think. Yep, that's all we need. 8 wool, and I think then we're done. So yeah, wool, I don't know how much we have now. I know I have a bunch of like randomly colored ones because of some chance cubes I went off and did mid-episode, but or in between episodes. But what we can do at the very least is, since we have a crafting terminal here, we can just get an absolute ton of those there. We won't get all the ones we have now. Well, how many Flux cables do I have here? I have 97, plus the 37 I have. If I do at least a stack, that's fine. I like the idea of having a stack of Flux cables. But we obviously then do this glowstone dust, I think, and then redstone dust, was it? We'll put one of each so it evenly shares them, and that's some dense cable for us. 16 of the lovely things. So we are going to then just put those in there. It's going to take a little while. Obviously there's 160, these are 1280. We'll get some nicer items, I guess. We'll pick up, let's get some gold horse armor. Horse armor is a very nice thing to just hold EMC for a little while, isn't it? So we'll put gold horse armor in here, get us an absolute ton of those. There should be like, you know, 8 or so per one at the very least, with some very basic quick maths. Okay, it's a lot more than I thought it was. I'm still going to need some regular Fluix cables though, so we need to make sure we're not making too many of these. But, you know, we've got to go up all 4 of these, so we definitely still do need quite a lot. You're going to eventually... There we are. Fluix... Regular old Fluix cables, I guess as well. What I'll do with you quickly is I'll just put these 2 spare controllers I have in there to get those all. And then we need some storage buses, which, as long as, again, we have 1, we can make a ton. So I'm hoping... Okay, that's not quite what I was hoping. We just need to make a few more of those, which is fine. ME interface. And then a sticky and a regular piston, which, okay, doesn't have been connected, doesn't, yep, that was words. Yeah, it hasn't been connected, so I need to go and, like, disconnect this, I guess, and probably go down here, I think, to get those crafting. But as soon as this is all done, we will be moving, I think, our ME system very, very, very soon, just because it's going to be messy otherwise, and we just definitely need to spend probably some time off camera, I think, more likely than not, just doing just some maintenance work, getting stuff kind of looking and feeling nice. Let's get a stack of diamonds for this one. But yeah, we need to make sure that obviously everything's looking good and nice. So we need 88 of these, I think, at the moment, at the very least. That is assuming those two still aren't in use, because there's 22 per stack plus the 2 extra, so it's 88, 90. That's definitely enough. So what we can do now is I also want to make some labels. I also want to check if those work. Hopefully they should. So if we just go to you. Haha, they do. Awesome. So I can't apparently take it off for some reason, but at least that shows us how many of the essence we have, even though we could just go into our crafting terminal when we have it. So I do want to make another one of those, and I want to put it in the condenser and put something expensive in there. How much do they cost? 260? That's not going to be enough, but maybe it's going to make a dent. Yeah, definitely going to make a dent. So these are all going to go on there quickly, and all we're basically going to do is it's going to be we'll do it on this one first. There's going to be a ME storage bus here, a fluix cable there, and then a dense cable there, going all the way up and then going down into the ground and back to, we'll probably do like this corner, in fact, what we can actually do, if we just color them different colors, we can go 1, 2, 3, and 4 quite easily. Or what I'll probably more likely do is 1, 2, 3, 4, considering the way I've split them up. So that one will go all the way over there, there to there, there to there, there to there. All different colors, or at least we'll have 2 different colors, like clear, or maybe just have white, black, black, white. Might work, especially considering bone meal and ink sacs aren't too difficult to come across, and then we can get some nice coloring stuff for that. But for the moment as well, we need to just add these on so we can see exactly what is on each layer. I think that's probably the main reason. It's not necessarily because I want to see how much of something I've got. It's I want to know which layer has what I'm using or has what I'm after. On it. I don't know how to get them off though, so that's my only concern is doing that later. But for now, I think we should be good, and we can already see we've got a bunch of stuff, like 93 stacks of these already. You know, this has obviously been running for quite a few hours now, because it's taken me a while to get everything sorted. Also lag, apparently. I think it's all the particles. So I think when we get a little bit away, we should be fine. But you know, we're making a lot, and when this is all set up, you know, we're gonna have tons of items, which is really nice. Also, another seed I didn't have was basalt, because apparently I don't have any basalt, even though I've got that miner running. I thought I might have had some, but I might have to go in the mining dimension and just sort of have a little scout around for some. But yeah, I'll be back in a little bit once I've set up this whole system and colored these cables, and then we can end off this episode. I'm not sure how long the episode is, but it's definitely the longest time I've spent on an episode, I think, so far at least. It's taken quite a few hours to get to this stage in time. Okay, so things here are still a little bit of a mess, as I'm sure you can see right here. So I'm gonna have to do some work on that in the in-between time between episodes. But for example, stuff like this storage bus has a missing channel, for example, just because of the way everything's set up. It's very sloppy, so I've got to definitely do some work there. Right now, the main thing was making sure the drives were working, the terminals were working, and I could actually access my stuff, really. I'm not too fussed about the autocrafting as much, but if we go up to here, we will see, if we press F1 and turn around, you'll see what it looks like with all these cabled up. So as you can see, I've gone for white and also black cables. And if we go down, it's probably easier to actually just jump off the edge here and not into the end. But if we go here, you'll see the way I set it up. I quite like the way it's set up. But as you can see, it also shows the amount of channels, which is really nice, which actually brings up something I need to check in a minute. But 22, 23, 23, 22, because obviously the center ones have that extra one on there. And because this is now connected and these storage buses are all connected, if we go into our crafting terminal, we will see all the essence that is in our terminals. Now, all but a few, which is mainly, I think, the Draconium and the Inferium, are exactly what's in there. The Draconium and the Inferium, I know for a fact, aren't all in there. I've filled up the Terra Steel, but those are the two that I know for a fact aren't fully in the storage system. They're also in the drives over here. But let's right-click and see what we got. And would you look at that? Look at the amount of seeds we've got. We need some way of storing those maybe off-site rather than them being in the ME system. Maybe have them come in and then get pushed out, possibly. I'm not sure if there's the best way of doing that. But if we ignore that and just look up essence, for example, we've got 148k Inferium, 65k fertilized stuff, which is a lot of EMC if you actually do think about it, if we never end up using it properly. Draconium, silicon, we have a lot of silicon, glowstone, electrical steel, copper, rubber, silver, experience, saltpeter, which we're probably never going to use, lead, steel. There's a lot of stuff here now, and a lot of alloys as well. Stuff like, well, tin we didn't ever really have a lot of. Electrum, we can just do all that stuff. Mithril, aluminium, invar. Iridium, that was a big one as well. Like, making the iridium seed was a struggle because I literally had none. I had to actually go and, sieved crushed netherrack to actually get it because I just didn't have any. Lapis, iron, platinum, Constantan, again, dyes. Any dye I want to make, I can do that. Aluminum, brass, lumium. That's really good for upgrades, even though it's not a huge deal. Nether Stars, Awakened Draconium, which is obviously we've not got a lot. Fluix, that's a big one as well. I was actually thinking of making an automated Fluix crystal maker thing, but if we just got Fluix essence, it's not necessary. We can just go into here and make 6 with each one apparently, and it's amazing. The only real ones I'm concerned about, well, those two I'm concerned about, but I want to set up, and I think I mentioned it before, this was going to be, and I have worked out it would actually be perfect. These would be 32 channels for all of these if I were to cover these with 4 on each. I just need a way of powering them. But we could have 8 or 16 molecular assemblers and 4 interfaces on each one. My only thing is trying to see how many of, like, fire plus fire essence plus water essence, or fire essence plus nature essence, and all those random ones, and like all the different woods. I think I'd just put in one wood recipe, and then if I had to make any manually, I'd do that myself. But I've got to work out which recipes I actually want to put in there, and obviously I don't need to worry about how I'm cabling it up, because obviously I got this thing now, which again we need to sort out. I've got like a dimensional transceiver, which is receiving energy into this thing, and then I've also got the dimensional receiver or transceiver for all the items, which we're gonna have to work out a better way of doing that, I think. But there's that, and then over here I've actually just got quite a few vibrant banks with some solar panels on it for the moment, just so I have a large buffer, because these things do take up quite a lot of power. But I do want to get into, obviously, making some more like solar panels. So if we go solar panel, or if we look it up, for example, solar panels, we can eventually go to Draconic and Chaotic as soon as we get to that, but mainly Draconic. We could probably get those fairly quickly, and they generate 131,072 per tick, which I know isn't as much as this, obviously, but this requires fuel. Obviously that only works in the daytime, but if we can get an always daylight world, that's fine. And we also get 2 of them, so it's actually more per tick than that, and without fuel being put into it, and also within 2 blocks compared to however big that thing is. But yeah, I'm liking this, and we finally got around to it. It actually looks pretty cool. I'm thinking of possibly, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Obviously I still put the glowstone in it. I was thinking about doing like an inner casing, so 1 block out, have maybe some like glass on the side, because we don't particularly need to go inside these too much. The only ones are the bottom ones, which we could probably access quite easily. But the rest up here, we don't really need to access when... I'm thinking about doing it when it's actually full, when I've actually got the other things. Because what I mainly need to do now is get the Solium Dagger, go to the mining dimension, kill some pigs, you know, kill some cows, kill some sheep, try and find some slimes if I can, kill them. You know, rabbits, if I can find a rabbit, I guess that would be nice. I think RF tools will also help with that, going into a bunch of different worlds if I can, but I think I'll leave that for another episode. But for now, that is that sorted. I wonder also, you can probably see how many days it's been up in the top left, but I wonder what we're looking at like this. I think we had like 31k arrows at the start. We've got a bunch of bones, 90 of these, some of those. We back up to at least nearly 200 million RF. Yeah, some good stuff. All I need to do obviously now is just get some capacitors as well. That was a key thing as well, because we're missing out on a bit of block real estate when it comes to these things, so we definitely need to see what we can sort out there. But I'm going to sort out my AE system, might set it up in a completely different place. Maybe I'll set it up like over here, and primarily have it wireless, or I might put it down here. I might make like a little platform down here that can have some of it in there, maybe. We'll see. But that's going to be it for this episode at the very least. I'm going to fall to my death apparently. We did a lot of work. It's taken a lot of time, but I think it's worth it. And even if I just AFK for a little bit, or while I'm doing other things, this thing is going to do a lot of work. And speaking of AFKing, I completely forgot to do something that would have made me a ton of items. I was going to make something called a Neutronium compressor, which, you know, every, like, I think it's 7,111 ticks makes a pile of Neutronium, and considering how long I've been spending on this, that would have, that I would have had quite a few there, and I could actually get some I could have skipped a step pretty much whilst doing this, but for now, we'll just deal with that fact and let the stuff grow. I'm going to probably try and see if I can also get an auto wither thing. I'm looking at my Sky Factory 3. I think it's Sky Factory 3. Well, I do have an auto wither killer. I just need to get some Draconium evolution stuff and assume it still works. And, or Draconic evolution rather. But yeah, I think it should work and we might be able to get that sorted. And maybe we can mix that in with some RF tools as well, if we want to just put it in a separate world entirely, just with a wild anchor. But I think it should be alright if we just put it off a little bits out here, you know, and just get it working like that. I think we should be fine still, but yeah, that's gonna be it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.